Jason Arday, ex-Cambridge professor at Centre of Plagiarism row, found dead. Emergency services said a man was found unresponsive at an address in Battersea, South London on Friday afternoon. Arday resigned as a Cambridge professor of sociology of education last week. After allegations of plagiarism and questions about some of his achievements, he had denied the claims. Arday's family said in a statement that they were in shock to have lost this amazing father, partner, brother, uncle and son. They added, the campaign of misinformation was too much for Jason. He was a gentleman who always wanted to see the best in everyone. Earlier on Friday, police officers were called to an address in Battersea by the London Ambulance Service. In a statement, the Metropolitan Police said at this time his death is being treated as unexpected, but it is not believed to be suspicious. We know what that means, don't we? Cambridge University Vice-Chancellor Prof. Deborah Prentice said, "We are desperately saddened to hear this tragic news. Our heartfelt sympathies go to Jason Arday's family and friends at this incredible, difficult time," she said. Education Secretary Lucy Powell said she was deeply shocked and saddened to hear about the death, and she urged people to remember there are real people with loved ones involved. Arday, 41, had denied any plagiarism, but admitted errors in his work, and last week said the recent controversy about his work had led to an unrelenting level of public scrutiny and personal attack. The row first erupted after another academic, self-defined race realist, Nathan Kofnas, who was sacked from his Cambridge role in 2024, said he found numerous instances of plagiarism in the professor's work. Hear that, guys? Numerous instances of plagiarism in the professor's work. Arday says some errors in his early academic work arose because of his autism, as he relied on using mimicry to make sense of information. Similar scrutiny would find similar errors in work by other academics, he said. We're talking about academia here. I didn't murder somebody. I think the cruelty that I've experienced and the position of me as this kind of liar and fantasist is totally unacceptable, he told the Times newspaper earlier this month. Arday's appointment as Cambridge's youngest ever black professor at the age of 37 in 2023 was hailed at the time as a progressive moment. Announcing his resignation last week, Arday said the personal cost of the scrutiny of him had become too great. He said, while criticism is an inevitable part of academic life, what I have experienced has gone far beyond scholarly disagreement. Sorry guys, it's the morning. The relentless accusations, speculation and public commentary have taken a profound toll on me and those I love. He stressed that his resignation should not be mistaken for an acceptance of the narratives that have surrounded me. Cambridge initially said claims of plagiarism regarding Arday's thesis and some journal publications had been investigated by Liverpool John Moore University and the journals in question. Liverpool John Moore University, which awarded Arday his PhD in 2015, concluded that he had not plagiarized work. Earlier this week, Cambridge announced an independent investigation into his appointment. In a letter to university staff at the time, Professor Prentice said, "I fully understand the concerns being raised across the university and well beyond it regarding Jason Arday's appointment, and I share them. That investigation, as you say, should be thorough and transparent, and will be carried out independently by senior academics from within and beyond Cambridge." Cambridge celebrated Arday's appointment as a young black professor, one of a tiny and visible minority in academia. Only 1% of professors in UK universities are black, making each appointment hugely significant. The university will have to answer bigger questions, including about its duty of care, after it put him into a very prominent position. It may also find itself the lightning rod for anger from several different quarters, including those who feel Arday has been persecuted publicly and those who question whether he should have been appointed. Jolyon Morgan from Campaign Group Law Project said Arday's death was a tragedy. I do not understand what the public interest was in continuing to hound him after he resigned as a professor, and I do not understand what risk assessments media outlets did, Morgan added. Speaking to BBC News Night, Professor of Black Studies Kehinde Andrews and friend of Arday described him as a very down after resigning from Cambridge. He was very upset. He felt that there was no way out. He effectively wasn't leaving the house. He had lost a lot of weight, Andrews said. There should be a wake-up call to just show how bad black academics actually have it in academia, he added. Labour MP Bell Ribio Addy told the programme, the idea that an academic would be dragged through this amount of media scrutiny is unheard of. Arday originally worked as a PE teacher before earning his doctorate at Liverpool St John Moores University and going on to become an associate professor at Durham University and professor of sociology of education at the University of Glasgow. Glasgow University also announced a review into Arday's previous academia work. When news of his death emerged, the university said in a statement, it was shocked and saddened by the death of a former colleague. Our thoughts and deepest sympathies are with his friends and family at this desperately sad time, he added. Durham University, another of Arday's former employees, described him as a kind and warm person who actively sought to promote opportunities for PhD students. Last week, Arday cancelled an event promoting his memoir. Publisher Simon and Scrucer previously said that the book, Great and Unfortunate Things, would be published in the UK on 27th of August. It was released in the US earlier this week. The book tells a story of his life from being non-verbal until the age of 11 and unable to read or write until 18, then going through a series of improbable triumphs and heartbreaking setbacks before being appointed Professor of Sociology of Education in Cambridge.
Yeah, I just want to say, first of all, rest in peace to Jason Arday. The way he's treated him, media's treated him has been disgusting. But do you know what I'm going to say, yeah? From reading that article, and to be honest, from what I know, I'm not actually surprised. I had a bad feeling that something was just going to go down. Like, the way the media just hounded that lad, like, they just treated him like, do you know, he was being made a meme on social media. The Shade Borough have been on Instagram have been getting vilified for about obviously him. Well, a lot of people don't want to follow that page no more. He's not even dragged through the mud, and they didn't find no plagiarism. Yes, he made some mistakes in academia, but here's the thing. I just knew, but this is when we always say, that I think people have this issue when, I don't know what it is, especially when black people say, they say you gotta work twice as hard, you don't get the benefit of the doubt. This is exactly what they mean, what we mean by when we say these things. Yeah, that's exactly the kind of thing that they mean when they say those things. It's not a race card thing. It's not a cheat code. It's not a get out of jail free card. We're not saying that. We're not saying things such as, we want special treatment because of things that happened in the past, such as, for example, slavery that was like 400 years. No, we're talking about in the current setup, there is systemic structural issues, and there is forms of discrimination. Now, Jason admitted that he was not perfect, but then who is? You had an academic an academic, I believe from the same university. I can't remember if it's the same guy, the self-claimed race realist, Koffas, what he said his name is, or somebody else. I can't remember, but he was found to be the person that I'm talking about, referring to. Hold on a second. Yeah, he was found to be taken. So, as I was saying, he was found to be taken someone's students' work and publishing it in some kind of journal or as his own, and then he tried to justify it, saying, "Oh, he was just doing." I can't remember exactly the words he was saying, but he tried to say that he was just like relate. Nah, man. You see, people don't, and also the one thing about it is my point is he actually was able to stay in the university as well. He kept on. Now there was rumors, there was things about saying that Jason was exaggerating about being like mute or something like that, and I don't know, man. The thing is, look, as you saw, he was found that he wasn't doing plagiarism from St. George's, Liverpool St. George's University. It's a very prestigious university in Liverpool. Yeah, had to go through it to do a PhD. But I feel like what it was with him, with Jason, that it wasn't enough. Because if we're being real, here's the problem. You see, Cambridge University, this is one of the most prestigious universities in the country, if not worldwide. Yeah, not just the country, worldwide. Like, a lot of people know Oxford and Cambridge University. That's like one of the biggest universities in England, and globally it's recognized. Yeah, internationally. It's been very difficult to get into. Now, remember if you remember on this channel, I did a video about Stormzy, because Stormzy had like the scholarship for black students to go to Cambridge. He was doing a scholarship program for those people, yeah. And statistically, a lot of them don't get into. Wasn't able to get into that university. So let alone a black professor who, if you remember in the article, they said that 1% of the professors are like black. That's not 1% in Cambridge. That's just 1% of professors. So that's across different universities. That's how that is like. That means 99% of them are non-black professors. So the fact that he's in Cambridge, it was always he was like it's good. It's a good story that he was able to get into be professor at Cambridge. The only issue with that was, unfortunately, the moment there was any kind of any imperfection, yeah, that's the word I'll use. Any form of imperfection, they were ready to drag his name through dirt, because that's how it is, man. That is how it is. They can't accept that someone that had got in from unconventionally was able to do that. They had to find a reason to say, nah, there's something wrong, and that's how it is. And this is what people, well, some people understand, some people fail to understand, some people don't want to understand, some people don't want to accept it because they don't want to live that life. I mean, come on, man. This guy's a family man, right? He's got kids. You don't think he's married? Yeah, I don't know if he had children as well. He's a young man. Now he's not alive. He's only 41, man. That's no age, bro. Like, he's not really lived his life. He's done amazing things in his short life that he had, but now he's gone. Yeah? And I'm glad that, when I read the article, I'm glad that he said that his resignation is not him accepting the narrative, because before I read the article, so I've done this a few days after, other people have covered this, I took a few days to cover this, I'm covering this now. But what I realized is, I just asked myself, why did you resign? Not because I thought necessarily that they were necessarily true, but because it's just like, I just know that how a lot of people are inclined to think. They're like, yeah, that's why he's resigning, he's running away because he's got some heat, so he's gonna resign. And I'm just like, no, don't resign, man, just fight your corner. But everyone's different, man. I'm not gonna knock him for that. If he thinks, if he said that he said the scrutiny was too much, and obviously another key thing in that article as well is he's disclosed that he's got autism, which is obviously falls under neurodiversion. Now, the statistically, some people not realize that they are more likely to suffer from suicidal thoughts. And I know I probably shouldn't say that because it's not been they're not confirmed it as suicide, but it's kind of like that's what I suspect that it's probably suicide, because every time I've heard that, whenever someone has been caught up in something like that, and they always use the same language, they say treat it as not suspicious, sudden, unexpected, but not suspicious. We always find it's normally alludes to the fact that it's a suicide, and that's what I think that's unfortunately happened. Now, if it's wrong, I apologize and I'll come out and say, and I'll make another video. But I think that's probably what's happened, because it always tends to end the same way. Obviously, condolences to his friends and family, but I just think that the media just are they a lot of them got blood on their hands, man. They got blood on their hands. Yeah, it's the moon. I'm trying not to go full in, because it's like I don't want to wake up people, innit? But I'm filming this, and I thought that I would just need to just talk about some things. Like, they tend to have like certain dark thoughts. I know you usually don't like the word I really use it, but they have dark thoughts. They're more likely to suffer from dark thoughts, and he's probably thinking he's probably, his brain is processing the attacks like a threat to his survival. It's beyond academia, as he said in the article, but it's kind of like he's feeling he may not process it in the same way that someone that is non-neurodiverse is going to process something like that. It's too much for him. So he already had vulnerabilities. But the media, come on, bro, let's be honest though. But even people that are not neurodiverse, how many times has the media constantly gone onto someone, and eventually their life is ended? Like, how many? It's not the first time this kind of thing has happened. Yeah, I don't understand why. It's like if it's found out that he didn't do any plagiarism, why didn't he just stop there? Like, why did it become this whole hyper focus thing? It was so weird, man. But yeah, anyway, guys, please make sure you like this video as well, because it needs to be seen by a lot of people. I know other people seen, but like this video, comment, leave your comment section on below. If you haven't also subscribed to the channel, consider hitting that subscribe button so you can see more content from the channel. But yeah, man, I just feel so bad. But then again, the reason why I'm not surprised, that's how, imagine that, for me to say I'm not surprised or something like that, goes to show you that I just know how a lot of people or a lot of places, systems operate in terms of how they're doing people, innit? That's why I'm not surprised that he's done that. Knowing what I know of him, from what I saw, I'm thinking, yeah, I'm not surprised. Like, when the news first, because I first heard it, I first got the notification on my phone. I was like, oh, it's like a shock in that moment, but then it didn't last too long. I was thinking, am I even surprised? Something bad was gonna happen. Even if it wasn't him being there, something bad was not gonna come good of it. And yeah, I mean, made a meme on social media. Like, people just taking the piss, man. Like, just bullying, man. Just bullying the lad, man. Man gone through adversities, non-verbal. Do you know what? Even, I think there's exaggerations about how non-verbal he was until a certain moment. There's something called self-muting, where someone actually self-mutes themselves. So it's sometimes it's not always about that they can't physically say words. They choose to self-mute for whatever reason. I'm not gonna go too much into that, but that is a thing as well. So he's got to go through a number of adversities. He's got in at the highest level of education. He's obviously a unique case, being not only part of the 1% at Cambridge and also neurodiverse as well. He's done some big achievements, so like hopefully we could be proud of. I think we can be proud of him, but unfortunately, he's not taken too well to the scrutiny, and rightly so. But unfortunately, he felt that he had to end his. He fully felt like he had to end his time with us, and unfortunately, their children, family are now have now lost someone that is very important in their lives. Obviously, a father, a son's been lost. You name it. You know the article. He said it. But anyway, guys, let me know your comments on down below, and please keep it, and please be sensitive and respectful. Don't be silly with the comments, because this is a serious issue. Like, it's not a joke. Like, don't be trolling and that kind of stuff. I know there's some weirdos out there that want to say some funny stuff. If you got a genuine comment with a different view, fair enough, put it, but don't be taking liberty that's because someone's died. Let's be respectful of them and their family. Yeah, subscribe, like this video, comment as I said, and I'll see you all next video. Peace.